Hi everyone, it's me again, and today we're bringing back my Unscripted Rant series where I just talk about some topic on the internet that I'm interested in a very extremely ridiculously casual, because it's a YouTube channel. I don't actually have to do 20 hours of scripting for my 1 hour long video every single time I do anything. So that's what I'm going to do. Feel free to suggest other topics below. I feel like what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to up it back to 4 videos a month where I do 1 or 2 of them as unscripted rants, so I can kind of actually have like a consistent flow of content, because genuinely what's been like the overwhelming part of it for me is just that they take so long and I work full time. So that's just been kind of my issue, because I also go to the gym and I like to like have a social life, and it's just been a whole mess. So before we get into everything else, like sources, ways to support the channel, all that kind of stuff down below, including YouTube members and my patrons who I love dearly, names on the screen, as well. We're going to be talking about Miss Amberlynn Reid today. This is super casual, so I guess I'll section the videos more or less. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about updates since my last video that I made. Then we're going to talk about Aunt Tammie coming in. We're going to react to two streams. We're going to react to, oh, this is bad. I will not let this rumor spin its own narrative, and I'm leaving. So that's what I'm going to be doing as far at the end. So let's get right into it. Part 1, let's get into updates since my last video. So I'm actually recording this on OBS, which I don't normally do because it doesn't look quite as nice. Like my camera doesn't fully, like I'm a little bit less. It's a little bit less. You can't count every hair on my eyebrow like normal. But I am doing this obviously because I want to be able to bounce back and forth. So now I'm going to shrink myself down and we can look at what we're getting at here. So this is my little sticky note thing that I've used just like to genuinely just to list the things I want to talk about, because that's all we got going on. So last time we were here, we ended at this one here called OMG. Okay, right now it's coming.
I can't change it to just members.
So I'm not gonna bother with all of that right now, but this is where we were at. So this was the genuinely cursed. So what has happened since we last spoke? Divas, last time we talked, Amberlynn's ex Emily had done an interview with Mr. Snowflake. Amberlynn Reid was crashing out over live streams, talking about going back and forth with Emily and a bunch of other stuff. I swear to God, as soon as I hit, it's like I summon something every time. As soon as I hit upload on that video, Amberlynn Reid's Aunt Tammie gets in the mix.
Oh, hello.
So Aunt Tammie, okay, some TLDR on this a little bit. So Amberlynn Reid grew up in the foster care system, okay? Oh my God. We're also going to talk about privacy complaints and stuff. Oh my God. Okay, where are we going to do that? Probably part 2. We'll see. I guess I'll name it. But so Amberlynn Reid has an aunt. Is this another reaction channel? Oh my God. They're all coming from my bag, even though I'm not a reaction channel. But Amberlynn Reid was raised mostly by like foster parents. So her mom, Kristen. Her mom is all that matters. Her mom had substance abuse issues and struggled with addiction, and so did her dad. Her dad actually, I think, still does, to my understanding. So Amberlynn Reid had been in and out of foster care from I think the 2nd grade until she was 18, 8 till 18 or something like that. And then when she was 18, she lived with her grandmother in Oklahoma. Aunt Tammie was also in the vicinity at this time. And then Amber got kicked out by her grandmother upon visiting then partner Casey in Arizona. And then from there, Amber has just lived with a girlfriend essentially constantly until 2023, when she moved back to Oklahoma upon breaking up with ex-partner Jade, to where now she's had, in that time, the Oklahoma era has been so messy. In Oklahoma, she tried to break up a marriage. And then, so she was talking to Alexis as well romantically. So she's trying to jump from somebody immediately after Jade, and then tried to break up a marriage between Erica and Brittany, and then got with a feeder. And had lied about breaking up with the feeder, even though she claims that she never lies about anything and just constantly lies. And then this has been kind of the breaking up with the feeder arc that we're kind of in now. That's kind of like the tea of what everything that's going on. Okay, we're here. Now, Aunt Tammie has kept up with Amber apparently her whole life, and Aunt Tammie's been somebody who's been a lot more... Aunt Tammie has not had like the addiction issues in the same way. She did have a messy divorce with her first husband, but then and got an affair with a guy at a karaoke bar. But she's married to the karaoke bar guy, and the marriage that Tammie was in was abusive. So that kind of gets that context up there. So what happens I believe in this stream is Amber. I want to be able to see the transcript, but like it's being it's giving hater. So then,
how's COVID?
Tammie start posting on YouTube, okay, on her community tab and stuff. And Aunt Tammie was kind of saying like, hey, like I'm finding out that Amber's been doing all this shit on the internet, and was even getting into like reaction channels and Mr. Snowflake's video essays and talking about Amber abusing her partners. And then Aunt Tammie, what's been going on is that, and I swear to God, like, who is a menace? Like, oh lordy, it's Jordy is a menace. Like, let's like full stop here, right? So Aunt Tammie ends up calling Jordy a bunch of times. And in this time, so we're just going to do a general catch up for this section, then we'll get more into Aunt Tammie specifically. In this time, Amberlynn Reid stops uploading content. The last time we got uploaded content was...
Hello. Welcome.
When she got diagnosed with arthritis? Diagnosed with arthritis at the hospital. So it says it was hot diggity daffodil, July 7th, 2025. We're actually it will say 2 months tomorrow. So when you see this tomorrow, because I'm probably not editing tonight, I kind of want to go get Korean barbecue. It will say 2 months. So Amberlynn hasn't uploaded a video. So she says, I'm in my live stream era because of all this drama and stuff. And therefore, I'm going to just live stream. And then we've been getting all of these live streams and everything, okay? This gets us to part 2, and we'll talk about Aunt Tammie, okay? So part 2, Aunt Tammie, and, oh my God, Aunt Tammie, the allegations, and the privacy complaints too. So, let's start with, we're going to talk about the privacy complaints. So, there is a small channel called, if I can type, hello. Ignore my YouTube homepage. It's my YouTube homepage is really cursed because I refuse to I refuse to pay for more than one YouTube premium account, but I also refuse to not have the one that has my curated subscriptions be the one that has ads on it. So as a result, I do everything on the same account, so that's why my homepage is just an absolute clusterfuck of random shit. So this is the channel Studio Deets. I love my diva. This is not sponsored by Studio Deets Propaganda Agency, okay? Put me in the middle so we know that I'm important. This is why I don't record in OBS, because I keep playing around with it too much. This is the Studio Deets channel that we can see around me, okay? This channel has been making... Well, so right now, she's actually been focusing on the Aunt Tammie saga. So this is actually a way better place than what I was talking about to go over everything with Aunt Tammie. I will link Studio Deets in the description as well, okay? So Studio Deets starts posting on the community tab saying that there's been some weird emails happening. So recently, Studio Deets posts, so they had done an initial post, and they're talking about these privacy complaints that they had been getting. What's interesting is that I think there's a missing community tab post, but I'm messed up. I'm a little messy here, but so they post 5 days ago, or let's do this one. They post 5 days ago here, pardon me. So Amber sure has been busy on social media during her break from social media. She's coming after reaction channels. And since she apparently has no spine, the smallest ones. I haven't heard from YouTube RE their final review yet, and what do you think the results will be? I will say, if I start getting a bunch of privacy strikes on my videos, I'm just going to start ranting no clips. I'm going to rant no clips because I don't play with that. I don't know. I'm going to rant. I'm just going to keep going with nothing. And then you're just going to, and then go on my notoriety and you'll still look like a fool. They're talking about the timestamps and everything, okay? So she's coming after reaction channels and says she apparently has no spine, the smallest ones. Because Studio Deets is under 10K. There was another channel called Abigail. At this point, we don't find out, which I'll tell you this now. Mr. Snowflake was also getting privacy strikes as well. So just a reminder, I have less than 6K subs. And she couldn't pinpoint a single timestamp that was actually privacy rules, since there are none. And instead submitted timestamps from 1 minute to 53 minutes, so the entire duration of the video. Big thanks to my channel members who have been sending me supportive messages all afternoon. They gave me strength to let everyone know what's going on. Next post says, and the privacy complaints continue. I guess someone saw my last post regarding the lazy timestamps because all of a sudden more specific ones are coming in. And if that someone sees this post, you should know that literally every piece of information I've discussed has been previously posted for public consumption. In fact, it's still up. I have screen recordings, links, timestamps, and to be ready. So deleting them now won't make a difference. Girls, get your pitchforks. So then there was this particular channel that was consistently doing the privacy complaints that was not Amberlynn, like it wasn't like the Amberlynn Reid channel. And I'm also not saying that it's for sure Amberlynn because we can't say that with 100% certainty, but there was this like what looked like a burner account because I think it was created in the same month that the strike started coming out. So it says, I guess they didn't want to stick around. Edit, never fear, I'll be making a follow-up video, but I'm still waiting on a few things before I can do so. Talking about a members catch up. And then this was from 1 minute ago. 2 more so far today. In this case, if you wondered, they haven't stopped. So I talked to Studio Deets. I reached out to them and they DM'd me kind of the whole situation on Instagram. So I'm going to discuss this with y'all in sort of a better, more concise detail. So these messages were from Tuesday of this week. And just for validity's sake, here is the profile. Let's scroll properly. And then if you do view profile, this is the correct person. Okay. I'm just going to read them just because I don't want to put DMs on the screen in case I don't know. I'm just paranoid. So I'm going to read them. I showed you that's a real person and everything. Please don't get mad. I got my first privacy complaint on Sunday. The thing is, when making a complaint, you're supposed to offer specific timestamps for whoever's information is supposedly violating someone's privacy. They offered timestamps that were 1 minute to 53 minutes, which obviously is a complete joke, and just someone who wants the video taken down. So I took to my community tab to announce this, including the timestamps. Then, wouldn't you know it, all of a sudden, I start getting a ton of new privacy complaints with specific timestamps. I wrote a second community post. Not gonna lie, at this point I already had my theories, but was hoping someone might show up in the comments. And that's when the lovely newly created sock accounts showed up, raging and calling me names, talking in circles, manipulating language, etc. That person also emailed me directly, and it gets more and more threatening as time goes on. And the complaints are still rolling in, 4 more this morning on different videos, and they're watching every single one and finding out something to formally complain about. I believe Amber thinks using privacy complaints will get more videos taken down than copyright strikes and is big mad, but I can't prove it. They're openly threatened my monetization, channel in general, and admitted that they created the account for the specific reason of harassment on my page. And it's all common. And then they said, and if you weren't aware, it might help to know that I've been doing history lessons on Tammie and Amber's relationship since all the Tammie stuff popped up recently, and Amber doesn't look good in any of them. And it was my latest one of those that was initially the video that wanted to be taken down. You can decide if that's relevant, but Tammie sure did in her apology. And then she sends me the link to Tammie's community tab. And Tammie said, first of all, I'd like to apologize. I'm sorry you're having to deal with this. If me commenting to you caused Amber to do this, I'm sorry. I would also like to thank you again. The videos I've seen of yours are so well done, in my opinion, to the point that they have brought tears to me several times. You really dive deep in telling a clear story that had me realize things I had overlooked before. Although I'm sure some of my tears came from sadness, most of them were because I finally seeing and processing the truth of what my family actually is. Tears of relief and a feeling of finally being heard and understood. I do not understand the whole privacy violation strike, but the audacity of her speaking about anything private, 3 exclamation marks. I can put that, actually. I should have just put that on the screen. I had it. Oh my gosh. Hold on, y'all. It's right here. I just read that. It's right here. I'll zoom in. And if you want to verify that I read this for real, pause to read. It's right there. Okay. That's been the current reality. Studio D is still getting the strikes. Now, there's a theory that the strikes are coming from something in relation to Crystal's family. Because Studio Deets was making... Amber's been talking about Tammie for years and years and years and years. And some of this comes back to the Crystal era. Now, if we want better details on tracking all of this, the channel Hecticana has been talking about it. This video here is really good. Also, love the intro. The little fart noise, very funny. I laugh a lot. So that's what's been going on with the privacy complaints, okay? So when we go back to Miss Amberlynn Reid, and we're talking about Aunt Tammie. Aunt Tammie has been in cahoots with Mr. O'Lordius Geordie, genuinely the biggest menace girl world's ever seen, and I don't say that as a bad thing. In almost all of his live streams, as of late, Aunt Tammie has called in.
My sister's relationship is destroyed for a whole new, a totally separate reason, nothing to do with Amber. But during these 2 years that I haven't talked to my sister, Amber hasn't talked to me. She hasn't texted me. She hasn't called me. She hasn't tried in any way, shape, or form. She's a grown-ass adult. So where's she going to say, oh, you were mad at my mom, so I couldn't talk to you? Like, what kind of game is that? So I kept waiting, and I kept waiting, thinking, how I dreamt of this day. That's what you guys don't understand. I dreamt of this right here. My sister to be clean and sober. It was beyond my dreams. Beyond. My sister exceeded my dreams in that. And then when I found out Amber was moving here, we're talking dream coming true. I thought everything was going to change. I thought we would diet together. We would walk together. I could be the person she needed. Finally, in the present, you know? She used me to go check out her apartment because her mom didn't have time or the want to do it. I was good enough to be contacted then. I was the one who checked the apartment she still lives in.
I believe Aunt Tammie called in this one. She was in the chat of this one. Calls in this one. And I think what's interesting is he doesn't really announce it in the actual stream. But I believe it's this one. Also, Aunt Tammie calls again. So Aunt Tammie's been talking about the way that Amber treats her mother poorly, the kind of tension between her grandmother, her mom, and Amber, and the drives in the family. And Aunt Tammie's talked about how she was kind of always keeping it together. And then there was a very infamous live stream where Amberlynn has Tammie on the phone. Because in one live, Amber's like, square up, this one. Where she's very, very cocky, and she's talking about how Aunt Tammie lies and has no idea anything about her life, didn't even meet her until she was 17. Aunt Tammie claims she met her when she was, I think, like between 8 and 10 years old or something, or no, 14. And then there was a story about spaghetti, which was where Aunt Tammie claims that at 14 when she met Amber, that her dad was there, and the first story that she had was Amber giving herself a bunch of extra heapings of spaghetti, and then her dad being like, whoa, that's enough, Amber, and then that pissed Amber off crazy. So in this live stream, Amber's getting mad that Aunt Tammie is on stream with Geordie, talks about how Aunt Tammie's a liar, knows nothing about her, a lot of manipulative language in regards to like how she doesn't believe that she sided with her mother, and then there's just been a constant set of fighting because Aunt Tammie has kind of gone at her wit's end with Amberlynn's mother, her sister, because of the history of substance abuse and things of that nature. So then we get to, which is so funny, because she's like, square up, and all this shit in these streams. And then this stream, you see, oh my God. Right. You know, hold on, let's make me little. Okay, so where was this? An hour 11? This is how she starts the stream. Oh, put me right there. This is how she starts the stream. Amberlynn Reid, right? Smuggyton City. I already said Amberlynn Reid, and I can't think of something else. And then when she's on the call with Tammie, Aunt Tammie absolutely rips into her. Okay? I'm talking, it's like crazy. And I'll clip like a part of the rant in right now and you can see it, okay?
When I'm around her, we laugh like, oh my God, I can't even, like it hurts our ribs. We laugh so much. We have such a good time. Like I help her when she's walking. Like it's just confusing because we always have such a good time, and I never, besides on my birthday, that was
Are
like,
you going to tell me that you guys have never gotten an argument while you've been
yeah, on my
about the way that you talk to my sister?
On my birthday, we got into an argument. We did, but
we also got into it about having my sister give you your shots too, right?
So I started crying, and my mom was like explaining how she's totally fine with it and stuff, and it started to make me feel guilty, where I was like, is my mom actually like just saying she's not triggered? But no, she's not triggered because she wants to take.
You made her be like that, Amber. You made her feel like she can't tell you no because you keep bringing up the past all the time.
May I finish what I was saying?
Now she owes you everything, so yeah, she's afraid to tell you no.
May
she
I
didn't
finish?
Want to do that.
May I finish what I'm saying?
Continue now.
My mom, no is her favorite word. She tells me no about a lot of things constantly, and I just accept it for what it is. I just say, okay, I call it a day. So that's not true.
That's funny, because whenever I tell you no, I got to go on and on for fucking hours and text. I'm a horrible person.
So again, I'm not in my 20s anymore. So
I'm not talking about just your 20s.
We obviously are, because I mean, me and you, we haven't even talked in 2 years. So it's like, how can you sit there and like still hold me to some standard of who I was in my 20s or when we talked more? I've changed even in the last year.
Have you watched your videos, Amber? You are recycle, repeat. Like, there's nothing new about you right now. You are the same person you were yesterday, last week, last month, last year. Watch your videos. Watch reaction videos. It shows it over and over again. Rinse, cycle, repeat. You haven't changed, Amber. I wish you had, but you haven't.
Okay. So then this all happens. They fight on camera and everything. Then Amberlynn, I can only ever remember based on like what she looks like in a given stream. I think it's this one, which I'm going to react to also, the smaller clips of this stream, okay? And this I'm leaving stream. Amber then claims that Aunt Tammie's ex-husband, the abusive husband, was a child predator, and Aunt Tammie claimed, or Aunt Tammie forced the child victims to essentially lie that never happened. Now, Aunt Tammie also has an estranged daughter who's Amber's cousin, and Amber has brought up having information from this cousin. So there's some people who allegedly, like, they're kind of putting together it might be that girl. I have no clue. Amberlynn Reid constantly lies, especially when Amberlynn hates somebody. She will make up crazy, sinister stuff, okay? So this is like, there's no, like, I'm not like, no, I need way more detail than that. And I know obviously there's like the whole believe victims thing, and I understand that 100%, but we need to remember this is a perpetrator. This is a perpetrator with invested self-interest and a history of lying. And I say this because in one of these very streams, which I will clip it because I don't remember which one it's in, and I'll have to do like I'll have to search the transcripts and stuff. Amberlynn was trying to be all smug with somebody and talk about how she wasn't like sexual with that many people. Now, Amberlynn Reid claims that her first live-in, let's say, long-term relationship with Casey, that Casey, Rain and Petals eavesdropped her. First letter of each one of those words, right? Rain and Petals eavesdrop, that's like Amberlynn's thing from talking about that. And in this stream, one of these streams, she smugly says that Casey and Crystal never touched her. But then is backpedaling in another one of these that the Casey stuff was 100% true. This is why a lot of people say things like, you know, that people, that like some of the reactors are evil because they question Amberlynn Reid's like essay stories and things like that. Now, I don't like doing that because even the potential of any validity and me trying to squash that is something that I don't know if I'd be very guilty about. But at the same time, Amberlynn Reid is someone who actively tries to ruin people that she doesn't like all of the time. Like, she tried to humiliate Destiny about her brother's addiction problems. She kept Beck from their dying mother who had cancer. Like, do you understand what I'm getting at? Like, this is not like a normal set case of something like this. And Amberlynn Reid is someone with malicious intent. So, and with this, Amber also likes to get ahead of a story. Okay? So with the Casey thing, they brought it up in a video in the Crystal era or the Destiny era. I think it actually might have been Destiny era. So circa 2015, 2016. And we can see the same thing happen again with my last video with all the Emily stuff. Because Amberlynn knew that Emily was going to interview with Mr. Snowflake based on like Emily vague posting about it on Instagram or whatever. And then from there, tried to immediately do reversal. And Amberlynn has done Darvo-style reversal on Beck too. So that is why we need to kind of keep all of this in mind, okay? So what we're going to do now is we're going to move on to part 3. I'm going to react to these 3 pieces of content here. So I got to put my headphones on. Right. So we're going to skip some of these longer ones because I'm not a reaction channel. I don't have time for this. So let's get to, let's do, oh, this is bad. We'll talk about the rumor spin, and then we'll talk about the I'm leaving. Okay. Now, there's a point I have in here, which I highlighted this, weaponizing H3. I will get to that if, afterwards, if it's not mentioned in these. I'm not sure what's in these ones exactly. I also want to say, I've seen everything that's been going on with that. Right. And we're just gonna, yeah. Also, not one of my videos being in the Alexa Nicholas lawsuit. Right. Anyway. Oops, that's the wrong one. That's the one I don't want to react to. Lol. I'm also speeding it up. I argue with the wall. I'm doing 1.3 times speed. I have a plugin. If anyone's ever wondering, what's it called? Is it this? No. Yes? It's called Video Speed Controller. It's my lifeline, dare I say. Anywho.
How's everyone doing?
I'm also going to skip past the pleasantries.
Andra, I'm good. How are you? Crazy things going at What's bad really popped? Oh my god, I found out some stuff about my aunt today that has, or it was yesterday, that genuinely just has me like jaw on the floor type deal. Jaw on the floor type deal. I can't. I genuinely can't. Like,
here's my tea on Amber in terms of the use of the word genuinely. I low-key I feel like she's trying to summon telling the truth like Beetlejuice. Diva, no matter, if you could say genuinely 100 times, it doesn't make it genuine. Like, don't piss me off. Like, also, look at the obviously, okay, I know the like to dislike ratio thing's not accurate. I think H3 fans were trying to claim that my video on Ethan, for example, had like a 30% liked ratio. It was 71%. This is like, it's probably a little bit less bad than this, but probably not by a lot. Anyway, let's continue.
Spill the tea. She has no issue spilling it. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely spill the tea, but I'm gonna try to do it very like low key. I'm gonna dumb it down because like some of it's very personal to other people, but I did get permission to say whatever I wanted. So I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try.
I already know what the tea is. Okay. I need y'all to think about what she just did there. Now, if any of you don't know what the tea is, or you do, this is what I was just talking about, right? When I said Amberlynn has demonstrated bad intention and reversal intention in the way that she acts and the way that she's communicating. This is generally like a reason why I like making so many videos on Amberlynn in particular. It's because Amberlynn's an abuser. Amberlynn does very textbook abusive tactics. And it's because she's not that smart. It's so easy to be able to point out directly what these behaviors are. And I hope that my audience is able to retain and learn from them down the line. Okay, but remember when you find out, if you don't know or if you do know, remember that. Put this in your pocket.
Some of it's very
This
personal to
reaction.
other people, but I did get permission to say whatever I wanted. So I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try to be like morally me. Like I don't want to like spill too hard.
Right.
But she
And
wants to
it's
come out
tea.
popping. I'm gonna come out popping. And yes, I'm fully aware she was live with Jordy last night. I found out 5 hours later because Alexis texted me and said something about, actually I'll just read it.
Another weak-minded individual, Alexis. Like, what lacks in your real life that you betray a rotund toddler via reaction video, make AI DJ set music, then somehow realign with her after further abuse allegations come out? Right. Yeah. Moral arbiter of the world for sure. Dare I say.
Where is it? Tammie going on third Jordy live stream was crazy work. She is bored. And I was like, huh? Because I only remember her doing two. And then she ended up telling me, and I was like, oh, okay. So I don't know if I'm going to react to that per se, but because it's like, I don't even want to listen to it. I genuinely don't, but I don't know. Can you say hi to Gabby, Trish, and Vanna, please? I love you, girl. Okay, Star, thank you so much for the super chat. And hello, Gabby. We were gifted members before. I loved it. Thank you. Oh, asked my friend if she knew about you, and she said, what, that messy big girl? Okay, pop off. Okay, listen. I don't even know where to begin with. You guys, I'm laughing because some of it's funny.
Again, I want you to keep in mind what she's going to talk about. And this woman is genuinely, this woman is excited, is content with doing this. This woman is gleeful. Like, I really don't feel like... Well, I was watching Rachel. British lady! Oh, God. But I think she's someone who... Her and Hecticana I both have been enjoying recently because they just, like, call her a scumbag. And it's true.
And the fact that you're trying now to mischaracterize or recharacterize that occurrence into something which makes you look like some kind of advocate for child rights or these children who had this experience, you are a actual fucking scumbag. And that is that on that.
And if my aunt is pissed about that, then you know what? Be pissed. Like, genuinely.
Guys, she's scum. Get in the toilet. Seriously, scum.
It's crazy that, like, she can say what she wants, and the minute I do it, see you in court, it's off the
and we've said this already, but there's a massive difference between what she said and what Tammie said, but I've beat that horse already.
law.
Actually, sorry, I'm just pausing. I don't like that phrase, actually. I don't know why I said that, but anyway, carry on.
Of narcissist. It's a different type of crazy than I've ever seen.
Yeah, you are, Amber. You are a different type of narcissist than I've ever seen. The way that you narcissist, the way you move through your life, the way you hurt people, the way you behave, the way you deflect, it is a special kind of narcissist. And what I'm doing right now, Amber, is something which you do all the time. I'm purposefully misunderstanding what you said. You're talking about Tammie, but I'm turning it around and making it about you. How does it feel? Lovely, isn't it? When someone listens to what you said and twists it into something else. That's what I just did there, because you're talking about Tammie, but I'm talking about you.
And
I feel like I've had such nuts smoke for her. I've like called her names in French. I've been bilingual with it and everything. And like, I just feel like a lot of people really just think of her as like a lol cow, as like a big joke, which she is. But I'm like, no, this person also leverages their platform and their wealth and their relevance to be like an evil abuser. And like, that's what she's doing now.
I'm only gonna say a couple things. Some of it's funny, and the other stuff is like so serious. So fucking serious. Stuff I never even knew about. Your face looks like high blood pressure. My face is not high blood pressure. I'm on my second day of my high blood pressure medicine. I fucking did it, you guys. Okay, I fucking
You will
did it.
still have high blood pressure if you've taken 2 pills. That's my medical advice for you for the day, besties.
You know what? Irrational fear. I'm gonna lick you in the face. I'm gonna smack your face. I'm gonna say, get the fuck out of my face. And we're about to take that medicine because I need it, apparently. So, yay. Okay.
The apparently need for when you're like 600 pounds. Like I apparently have high blood pressure when you're like 600 pounds. And again, I understand. Like I don't focus on the weight thing. I say this every single time, but it's just like how stupid she is. It just really comes out. I don't know how else to explain it.
You know, you guys. Why I'm laughing? I shouldn't be laughing. It's really not funny. It's not at all. You guys should ask Tammie. Do your beanie babies have a menstrual cycle? I know you guys are probably gonna be like, what are you talking about? Just say, do your beanie babies have a menstrual cycle? Just say that. Can you say hi to Brooke and Matthew? Hello, Brooke and Matthew. Jessica, welcome to Stream Queens Mini. Hello, hello. Thank you, Kendra. I'm proud of myself too. A lot of people are like genuinely, they're like, how can you be afraid of like medicine if you like drink? Bitch, I don't drink for a reason anymore because I am scared. Ooh. So, okay. You know, Tammie watching, probably obsessed. Listen. Um, I just want to say that my aunt is absolutely unhinged to the point of like literally every single month she receives money that she herself, I'm not calling it this because I never would call it this, okay? But she herself calls it crazy money.
So what's so funny about this is that her aunt has, it sounds like it's mental health disability checks. Here's a couple things with this. Amberlynn Reid, if she wasn't being a horrible person on YouTube as a lol cow, I don't know America, okay? I don't live in America. I don't know. I live in Canada, for those of you who are wondering. But she'd qualify for disability, or at least here. And like, I know in the States, I think the States is a lot more dependent on state, to my understanding, for things like this. But she can't work. She has like at least like 4 or 5 chronic physical and mental conditions. She is trying to like make fun of her aunt. The only reason she's not a leech off the system, as a lot of ignorant people like to call those on disability, which is not the case whatsoever, is because she abuses people on the internet in videos for money, causes drama, does reversal, drags people into the mud with her on public platforms for money. I don't know. I think understanding that your mental health can affect your ability to work a normal job, and being on on a government service or subsidy or whatever it might be, funding of any kind, welfare, whatever it might be, is a lot more respectable than what she's doing. That's my base take of the day. I love socialism.
Yes. And I want to make it very well known that how I found this stuff out is from her daughter, the daughter that literally will not speak to her. And it genuinely breaks my heart. And you know what? It's hard for me to even speak about these things because of like what I found out. Because like the most serious thing for me is Jordy is actively having a PDF apologist on his live stream, and he's supporting that. So I want to make that very well known.
So this is where we're already being a manipulative piece of shit. Okay, this is where we're already being the devil. Okay, this is the first time something like this is publicly mentioned. She hasn't even gotten to what it is yet. She hasn't gotten to what it is. She's gleeful. She's dancing in her on her couch or wherever the hell she's sitting. Right. This is the first time this has come out. How the hell would Jordy know that? So she says she's putting the responsibility of the platform onto Jordy, because her actual frustration is, how dare Jordy platform somebody who doesn't like me and exposes my behaviors from a more authentic, direct standpoint, because it's not third person, it's not third party. This is somebody who's known Amber for a long time, who's related to Amber, involved in Amber's family, right? If Aunt Tammie went on, this is something that we're gonna talk. We need to know. Okay, make me big for this. Hold on. If Aunt Tammie came on and glazed Amber, okay, Aunt Tammie came on Jordy's stream and said, Amberlynn is the best person ever. Amberlynn is wronged by all these reaction channels. Amberlynn's innocent. This, whatever. Even if I can guarantee you, hand to whatever deity you believe in, if Amber did not feel the way she did about Tammie because of her talking to Jordy negatively about her, this would never come out. I want you to keep this in mind.
Known that he is speaking to someone who stayed married to a PDF, someone who children. And you know what?
This man who, to my recollection, Tammie claimed was beating him. Now, Miss Virtue Signal Reid here, who has literally put up the domestic violence hotline as someone who was apparently dug their nails into her partner's skin, punched them, essayed them according to Casey, thrown a can of, what is it? What's that? The Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew Code Red, I think is what it's called. At Destiny, etc., etc., etc. Okay? So this Stanford DV survivor's queen, who Tammie said multiple times husband was super abusive. Tammie said her ex-husband used to say, like, as a threat, till death do us part. Okay? I don't tell y'all about my personal life, but, like, I've seen it not be that easy to just leave, right? So there is a chance that Tammie did know about this, but allegedly, maybe hypothetically, even if it's kind of real. And again, I don't believe Amber, because Amber's a piece of shit, okay? And has lied about stuff and has done this to people tons of times. There is a very, like, substantial and, like, and presentable chance that if Aunt Tammie were to have just ducked and left, would have put herself in very, very dangerous positions. And her children. Because I'm trying to say this like YouTube friendly. He could have, the family unit could have been no more at all. That is the stakes of actual DV situations. But instead, she wants to utilize this allegation as tea to have revenge on her aunt for talking to a reaction channel. Right, yeah.
What my aunt did, she forced these little kids to say that they were lying. So, Auntie, take that and fuck yourself. That's what I gotta say. And that's what I found out. The funny stuff that I was laughing about maybe 5 minutes prior, you know what? I'm not even gonna speak about that, because the Beanie Baby shit, all that shit is just so unhinged that I'm not even gonna speak about it. I think maybe we should just speak about the serious shit. And Jordy, if you want to support that, have fun, because karma will find you. And this is stuff that I never knew. And I'm telling you, I'm so glad that I know now, because Tammie, you say that you want nothing to do with me. They treat my mom so bad, even though I don't. The way that you treat your own mother is unhinged. The way that you gaslight me and you make me feel this small that I'm sitting there rocking back and forth like a fucking loser. Like, I literally am so embarrassed to go back to that live stream, but you trigger me so hard that I shut down. My mom watched that and she said, Amberlynn, you're not even acting like yourself, because you are an abuser yourself. You have manipulated me since the minute I met.
Amberlynn keeps using her mother, saying these these useless lines of probably just trying to comfort her really annoying daughter while they're spiraling, as like demonstrative proof of a good character.
Met you when I was 17. So for you to lie to people and say that we met when I was 14, which my mom, my grandma, your daughter all said never happened.
Proof
I sat there in that
nowhere,
live stream
obviously.
and you were gaslighting me so hard about some spaghetti story from when I was 14 that I almost started to believe it myself. So you and Jordy can go frolic in the daisies together. Jordy, I take that back. We are never going to frolic together, because I will not stand for a PDF apologist and someone who forces little children to say that they lied about it. No wonder why when I share my story about what happened to me when I was 7, you sit there and call me a liar. You are sick, period. And that's how I feel about it.
And it's so crazy because you can tell what her intention is by her premise, right? Jordy didn't know this when Tammie called him before. This is when this comes out. But she says Jordy intentionally platforms a PDF apologist. How could you have intention about information that hadn't come out? It's because your intention, this is actually slanderous, which is so interesting, right? Which, spoiler, Aunt Tammie's suing her ass in small claims court. And it actually, Jordy pulled it up on his stream, which I can pull that clip too.
Oh my God, stop it. Stop it. What is this? Is this fake? Small claims. Oh my god, they're going to small claims court, y'all. Tammie Robertson versus Amberlynn Reid. Amber, you're gonna have to show up to court. Gonna have to do some laundry to look good for the judge. Oh, this is hysterical. Oh boy. Oh, Amber's going down. Shit. Oh god. See y'all in Oklahoma City. I know. When is it? When should I book my flight?
It's just incredible to, because she's stupid, to watch her try to be manipulative in real time, because these aren't scripted videos. These are crash out streams.
And honestly, I don't know if I want to react to. I don't even want to click the video. I don't want to give it a view, so I don't even fucking know. No, welcome to Stream Queens Mini. Thank you, thank you. I want to wait. I have wanted told you long that I have. Sorry, I'm like blind. That I have had same issues as you. I took many courses just to learn why I feel and think as I do, and my BF did that too. Those have helped a lot, but it's still not easy. Please don't give up. Thank you. You have always been genuinely so sweet, and I appreciate you so much. It means the world to me.
I'm going to clip out if I don't react for a while also.
Flip. Their chicken wrap slaps. It's possible for you to feel small, so it's a mental thing, not a physical. It's just like the things that I found out today, and for anyone to sit there and support someone who literally forced little children to lie and say that, and for her to stay married to this man,
not
genuinely
supporting someone if they don't
like that
know.
hurt me so bad to hear it, and I was like,
that's the point.
You're not making sense.
And again,
how am I not making?
As someone who's like, I support DV survivors or whatever. Here, I'm actually gonna pull that up because I want y'all to see how crazy it is. Rachel brought the shout out to Rachel. I'll tag Rachel's channel down below as well, because Rachel rewatched this video recently as one of her videos. I listened to it when I was at the gym. Hit PR on the hack squat to Rachel, reminding me about this, how stupid this video is, but she was real as hell for that. What was it called? It was called, wait, I can search it. Hold on. Tammie rumors. This one.
Hello. Welcome to a new video.
Here we go.
But it's being screamed by the people who are actively every single day
I thumbs down this
hurting
one,
me.
period.
You don't care. You don't care about me.
I don't.
You don't care about my well-being.
I don't.
You get high off of the drama that my life brings to your channel, so you get views. And for the people watching and engaging,
okay, here's the tip. My YouTube's paying my student loans, okay? So Amber's paying my college diplomas, okay? I've paid off the equivalent of my master's tuition and my CEGEP tuition, pretty much. I got I think I'm like 2,000 away. So 2,000 was all of my CEGEP, let's say. So my master's tuition's paid off from my student loans, okay? And I live for the idea of my AdSense from all the different topics I talk about. Because the goal of my videos is always to let people know the intention and the structure around the conversations that are happening around them. It's media literacy. This is the Mika's media literacy channel, okay? It's Mika's rhetoric, because rhetoric runs a little easier than media literacy, and also because rhetoric can extend a bit farther than media literacy because it goes into things outside of media. Like when you're talking to somebody one-on-one, that's not media. That's just like you guys are yapping. You know what I mean? So I love that I get views off of talking about ways to pinpoint these behaviors that Amber does, to pinpoint the way that she carries herself and the way that she constructs things in a way that is helpful to keep people aware of the world around them.
in this sort of behavior, you are just as awful. This is a girl that is hurt.
I'm not.
This is a girl that has been beaten and beaten and beaten, and it's like it only just keeps getting worse. And I personally,
She's talking about Emily, right? Emily, who's been beaten and beaten and beaten. I mean, she wasn't beaten by you, but according to her, she was falsely imprisoned by you around this time. But go off.
I don't know how much more I can take. I truly don't. This sort of behavior should not be allowed on YouTube. And I really hope that one day my voice is heard. If you're currently suffering with domestic violence, there is a national domestic violence hotline that you can call. You are not alone. The number is 800-799-7233, or you can text BEGIN to 88788. Do not let stories like these, like victim shaming or victim blaming, scare you into not getting help, because there are people who are there for you. Use your voice. You are loved and not alone.
Every time I step away from this bastard's content, I like get gagged every time about how sick she is. It like actually, I think this is one of the most evil people on the internet. Genuinely check, ding 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 ding. Like, it actually shocks me every time. It does, because like I watch the reaction videos and stuff, but a lot of them are like silly, which I understand, because it's like you got to talk about this like pretty boring person every day. I get it, okay, but like to be reminded just how like actually truly sick she is, it just constantly puts me in like a state of shock. Oh,
What? Dylan, I take them. Today's my second day. You don't have proof of something like that, Cass. That's really gross to say. And then like the fact that no one's like, my aunt can like spew off the most random unhinged shit, and people are like just believing it. No one's saying proof or anything. Like, that's really sad. Um, wow. This community is so fucking unhinged. Every time I come on here, and I'm triggered because like it happened to me when I was 7, and my own aunt didn't believe it, and my mom had to be like, it really happened. Like every time I come on here, I'm more shocked and shocked by the minute. I'm genuinely more shocked and shocked by the minute. Well, for some drama, people would support someone like that. No.
what's interesting is the goal is always just for the community to be more evil than her. Like, the goal is always that people are worse than her, because we're so far beyond the point of being able to prove that she's even could remotely be considered a decent human being.
Again, so I want to make something extremely clear to everyone out there. I have been fingered sexually by 4 people in my life: Destiny, Becky, Feline, and Emily. I was never touched in that way
Okay, so I did not clip this
by
earlier 'cause
Casey.
have it
I want to
here.
make that very fucking clear.
Okay, so not touched by
So
Casey,
people wanting
just remember.
to talk about the phobic this, phobic that ain't me. And that'll never be me. That is one title you will never put on my name. If I can't make a joke, neither can you. Literally, like,
In what world are we the same person? In what world are we the same person? Okay, let's be so serious for a second. Let's go stack for stack. Let's go band for band, diva. Let's go. I've never had a trans partner. Okay, I've dated men for some reason, like just like cis men. I've dated cis men only, unfortunately. Jokes, kind of. Now, I have lots of trans friends. I have a pretty robust trans community. I've asked in my streams like what proportions and stuff like that are my community, like not cis or what have you. And like, I don't know. I'm not saying I've been fingered by a dickless man in a Discord server. I'm not saying that my partner binds their boobs and it looks weird. I'm not talking to anybody about that I want them to be presenting as a certain gender. Instead, I hang out with my trans friends. I talk to them about struggles in their lives. And funny enough, girl, sometimes the cis girlie's got to take some hormones too, you know? And I have advocated for trans rights in my professional career, both in my education and when I was teaching and when I was doing my master's degree and in my current job now. So I've put myself on the line. What you've done is belittle trans people publicly on the internet, humiliate them, whether that be refusing to call back by their actual, like their preferred name, by not understanding their pronouns, by talking shit about Casey, even ignoring if the allegations were fake or not or anything like that. And then, yeah, essentially defaming a trans man. And doing it now. So that's our ban for ban. Amber, you can come back with whatever you want. I've written about trans students in academic papers as well. Done lots of research with that. I have designed content for it. Diva, I think you're just evil. Like, I don't know. Anyway.
People want to genuinely twist everything into something that it's not. And it's getting very fucking, like...
And Amber never understands, like, the pattern of behaviors shaping perceptions. People, because I feel like if I said something like that, it randomly, like, in a text and it got leaked or something, it's like, well, there's going to be context there, probably. Like, the people want to know, like, where was that, like, what's the next step, right? With you, because we've heard so many other transphobic things from you, it's like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Same thing with the other behaviors. There's no concept of being able to connect the things. Once in a while, there appears to be some sentience, but it's usually used in a context to manipulate. Being like, you did this because of my past, but now I'm like this, and now you're evil because you're not doing what I want.
It's just getting exhausting at this point. People are trying so hard to paint me as someone that I'm not, and I just needed to make it very clear, okay? Let me say it one more time for the people in the back who didn't hear me the first time. It has only been by 4 people. Destiny, Beck, Feline, and Emily, okay? That is it. That is it. I was 24 when it happened for the first time, and that was with Destiny, okay? That is why when people always ask me...
Okay, when I was 24 dating a 19-year-old, okay? Like, that's also, like, loser behavior, too. 19 or 20, whatever, but it was still... Like, I'm not saying, like, oh, and I think, like, I'm not doing any of that. It was just cringe and loser behavior.
Who took your V card? I always say Destiny. Because we kind of made a joke about it for lesbians. It's kind of hard to say. Like, when does that actually happen? I think intercourse. And the first time was when I was 24 with Destiny, okay? So let's just make that very clear, all right? So that is all I wanted to say. Fiona, thank you for the super chat. Love you. Bye, guys.
Now we're going to talk about our girl
deal, and I was, like, debating. Usually don't give you guys that, like, update type deal, and I was, like, debating back and forth. Like, do I say something? Do I not? And people get upset when I don't say something, and there's always, like... rumors that I'm not allowed to post on YouTube for 2 weeks because I got striked or whatever. Like, that's never happened. It's never happened. Anytime I've disappeared is my choosing. But this stuff with my aunt, like, is so crazy. Sorry for all the fur. Again, I was cuddling the babies. And this is also because Romeo likes to lay right here. And I'm just like, okay. And then I have to, like, hold my phone up super high to even, like, look at it or whatever I'm doing. Oh, he's coming again. So yeah, just this, like, whole thing with my aunt, like, is insane. It's like she can speak her truth, but then the minute I speak mine, she's like, see you in court. And I'm like, I'm unwell.
Her truth was, you're unpleasant to be around. You're mean to people. The behaviors that you've had on the internet when you put together with all the videos that have been made about you make sense. That you're mean to your mom, that you're mean to your grandmother, that you take advantage of people, like, as in, like, financially or for their favors or for their mobility, genuinely, some ability to drive, ability to walk around, ability to do whatever. And that you're deplorable. And your truth was you defended a PDF ex-husband. Right.
I'm unwell. I'm genuinely unwell. I've had slander, if you will, if we want to use that word. I've had slander happen to me for 12 years now on YouTube. Never sued a soul. And I'm telling you, the things that people have said about me has been crazy. Like, crazy. Things that aren't real, things that will never be real. I've never sued a soul. And it's it's hypocritical, and it's another way to silence me. And you know what? You won. I'm going to keep my truth. I'm going to journal it out. You know, one day I might publish those puppies. I know how bad so many people want to read my journal. So,
Divas, there would be a Mika's Rhetoric literature review of those journals if they got published. I will say the plan is to nuke the whole channel when my student loans are paid off. But we'll see if the time comes.
It's just not worth it. It's not worth it to me anymore. You know what? I might see her in court. And the thing is, she's not going to win because there's nothing to win. A lot of people have taught me it's really hard to prove slander, etc., etc. I believe what I said is 100% true. So that is what I have to stand on and what I will stand on. But even before I found that out, which I found this out literally 5 minutes ago,
I will say it's not going to look good when you hopped on a dedicated live stream for it, danced around in the live stream that you had that information, and then actively profited off of it. And then are now profiting off of it again, though.
Really glad that I have friends who got my back, if you will, for moments like this. Even before I found that out, I was talking to my friend and I said, I am going to take a break from YouTube because mentally, it's not worth it to me. It's not worth it. Thankfully, I have an amazing savings. I, worked for my money and I got it. Yeah, sometimes I got that shopping addiction going, you know what I'm saying? But I also know how to save my money. I'm responsible. And I need to just focus on me and my own. And the drama on YouTube is not worth it to me. The drama on YouTube is so otherworldly compared to like my actual true life. And I can't do it anymore. Like, this community is so lopsided. And I'm about to speak about Ethan Klein right now, which, ew. As you guys know, I've always loved H3. Oh, bitch. Not after some of the things that I have seen. Also from my...
Okay. Okay, well, so, like, obviously, like, I've been speaking about H3. We know where that got me, lol. But what's so funny is because I said, like, what did I say to somebody? I said, because, like, Ethan Klein's like is like pathetic. It's like, that's just, it's like, whatever. But like, what the funniest part about it is I remember, I remember when I was being reacted to on the stream, I said, the worst part about all of this is now Amberlynn Reid definitely knows who I am because because she's always watching it. Now, what she's going to talk about in here is Ethan Klein's Reddit account called PEDO_troll, where he was posting about swinging his Ethan Jr. around in front of a child. A lot of other really a lot of really racist stuff. I'm not surprised. I talked about him making people uncomfortable with stuff like that. Not to that nature, but like sexual nature stuff. In my video, everyone said that I was woke scolding and I was pushed too far. But like, in terms of this, Amber's now is going to again apply people not knowing information yet, because it had not come out before this time, to weaponize her own comfort in people believing her against people who are potentially victims of something.
A friend told me, I'm like, what is actually happening? But it's like the same people who are like, cancel Ethan for that, is supporting Tammie. It's confusing. I'm not calling my aunt a abuser in that way. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying she was with someone who did that. And it is what it is. Like, I'm only using my voice for other people's voices that weren't able to be used. And if my aunt is pissed about that, then you know what? Be pissed. Like, genuinely. It's crazy that, like, she can say what she wants, and the minute I do it, see you in court, it's off the wall. It's a different type of narcissist. It's a different type of crazy than I've ever seen. And I want no part in it. Genuinely. So I think I'm going to take a break and come back maybe October. So it is going to be over a month. And I think that's what's good for me. And I think that's what's going to be best for me and my mentals.
Again, people talk about this ad nauseum. Like, this is something that people talk about hundreds of times with Amber. But, like, Amber's kind of whole thing is to always shape herself as... I'm playing with this squishy donut because I'm getting annoyed and I'm getting angry because Amber's cringe. So, Amber always needs to make herself a hero in every situation that she talks about. Right? And with no, like, substantial... Because, again, no, she's not pointing out that it was self-serving in any capacity. Again, despite the fact that she was literally gleeful and dancing when she wanted to talk about this information. So typically when you're advocating for a victim, you have somewhat of a serious nature, right? And I'm also not here to tone police anybody, but typically that tone isn't arrogance, is how I'll kind of close that off.
My mentals are important. Everyone's mentals are very important. So yeah, I got to do it. It's gonna be hard because like I love filming. I love live streaming. I love my supporters, 100%. But bitch, I do not love the rest. Like, I hate the drama. I don't have drama in my real life. I hate the dramatics. I don't have any of this in my real life currently. And it's like,
Aunt Tammie's in her real life. Her grandmother kicked her out in her real life. Alexis is in her real life, kind of. Right. Yeah.
I feel like I'm literally Hannah Montana. Like, I ain't got the best of both worlds. I have one real good world and one real bad one. And YouTube is the bad one. So I'm gonna take a break. This girly pop, like I got permission from my boss. My boss said, go for it. Like, it's up to you. And I said, thank you so much. So we're on a mental health leave. We're gonna have a leave of absence, as you call them. And yeah, I think it's time. Maybe October 1st, I'm gonna come back. I think that's gonna be good for me. And I hope it's good for those who are like literally obsessed with me. There's so many of you, including Tammie. It's a weird energy. So yeah, it's kind of crazy because I have taken like 2 weeks break, but over a month is gonna be hard. But yeah.
People are saying that she's gonna come back. I don't know. Jump scare. I don't know if that's necessarily gonna be true. I think Amber's really lazy, so she's kind of down for the break, and also like possibly slandering her aunt made her a lot of money, and possibly slandering any of her exes made her a lot of money. Again, we talk about the crazy money thing from before. One thing kind of feels more respectable than the other.
Yeah, people asking about Insta and stuff. No, I'm not gonna be on Instagram. I'm not gonna be on any social medias. Like, I'm not gonna be on the TikToks. I'm not gonna be on anything. I can't. I genuinely can't. I have to choose my mental health first. Like, so many people are like, Amberlynn, we just want you to get better. You don't. You love a crash out. Like, you love a crash out. And I just don't want to be a part of it anymore. So I need to like focus in the therapies, the Zolofts, the just doing better for myself. I really need that. So yeah, that's just my little update, you guys.
I keep sending my friend these TikToks that are like, Amberlynn Reid really thought she ate here. Because she just like one thing Adiba clocks into the posting cringe factory, I will say.
I love you, my supporters, of course. I love you guys so much, and I'm sorry. I feel like a lot of people are gonna be like let down by it, which I get it, because if I really enjoyed a YouTuber and they did this shit, I'd be like, but I would understand because it's important. It's very important, and I've just realized that no matter what I do, no matter what I say, no matter what era I am on YouTube, I could be the happiest ever. My Ozempic era, my weight loss era, my nice girl era, my queen era, my crash out era, whatever era it's been, I'm hated regardless. People treat me like trash regardless. And bad things can happen to those who get treated like this constantly. And I'm done putting myself kind of in that position. And I hope with this month of Amberlynn kind of just like leaving social media, I hope that maybe some people can also sit.
Okay. I'm going to call me Jordy for a second. I'm going to be toxic. Oh, I hate that the Zoom doesn't work like that. I'm such a boomer. Is her dress backwards? Because I don't know if like we can't see. So, NASA enhanced. Wait, hold on. I can do this. Hold on. And then we're watching my brain work in real time. Is that saying control? I'm such a... Okay, hold on. Control... Okay, yeah. We got it. We got there eventually. Is that like... that looks like a clasp. Right? Am I stupid? I'm doing the Trump hands. That's something else of it. Yeah, I keep doing the Trump hands like this. I can't do the accent. Am I being stupid? Okay, random, but I just noticed that. Okay, I also gotta say something once in a while because the thing is like... that's why I don't react very often, because I need to like make sure I have the whole context of something before, because the rants I go on are kind of crazy. So
sit back and be like, you know what? Maybe I am a little too harsh with Amberlynn. Like, I get that all the time. I get so many DMs of people like, I'm sorry, I realize reaction channels are shit. Like, Girl World is insane. They're hypocrites. Like, I get.
If I post that I've come around on Amberlynn Reid and that I take back everything I said about her, know that I'm being held ransom. And that somebody needs to tap my phone and save me. Thank you.
I get the apologies, I get all of that. And I love it, but it's like, I wish more people could see that and be like that, because it's a fucking lot. It is genuinely a lot. And people who dissect every last little drop of my life, the people who are making that okay are reaction channels. The people who almost like entice, I don't know if that's the word for it, but like entice harassment and bullying.
Hold on. I'm just gonna put this. Amber, if you're here, which you probably are, this is what entice means. And you want incite is the word you're looking for. The word that she's looking for is never entice. Attract or tempt by offering pleasure or advantage. She's looking for either coerce or oblige or compel. I'm not sure exactly what the term she's looking for is, essentially to force upon, but I just don't know exactly what. Rachel said the words incite, so like, to like incite violence or something, or to incite something. I don't know if that's exactly what she's trying to do. Entice is to tempt, which is not at all what she's going for. But anyway,
and like just this nonsense of it all is reaction channels. It was never this bad before, but as reaction channels get more mean and boundaries are, stepped over. And boundaries are like stepped over. Sorry, Romeo's just having the time of his life. He just went on my laptop. When tons of boundaries are crossed, like it's reaction channels that pretty much are like making that happen. Are we still here? Sorry, I was trying to unplug this. And it's just a lot, because it's communities of people who like, yay, reaction channels, but like we hate Amberlynn. Like it is so fucking weird to me, and it's just a lot. And one person can only take so much, genuinely. And the whole thing just fucking sucks.
It's always they just hate Amberlynn. They just hate Amberlynn. She used to try to say like, oh, it's like fat phobia, but like it's like now, because obviously we got the family members in, we got the breaking of the marriage and all that kind of stuff. I think she can't really like, she still drops it in sometimes, but like it's never why.
Great about life is that right? People can move on, and if I decide in this month that YouTube is no longer for me, then YouTube is no longer for me, because I am capable of moving on, doing better. I just have to decide that for myself. But yeah, I have genuinely been rambling. And for those of you who are like, hashtag clear Casey's name, it's because of my aunt. And guess what? Isn't that slander? Isn't that?
How is it slander? How is it slander? People saying, you saying Casey never touched me sexually has to mean Casey could not have SA'd you, because SA means touching someone sexually. There's a clear conclusion there that came out of your mouth on publicly available videos on the internet. So no, it's not slander. It's also why you gotta like, your Trisha Paytas like, ugh, at the end of every word. God, that probably came out so crisp on this mic. Oh God. Anyway, I also will say, pardon me if my pausing's like a little bit weird and delayed. I unfortunately, like this mic, oh my God, I just tapped on it a bunch of times, didn't I? Oh geez, sorry y'all. What I was gonna say is that this mic is really nice. It's XLR, right? Sounds good, but I can't like pause it. There's no like buttons on it, so I have to like unmute and move around, and it's just not ideal.
Not slander, because what happened with Casey is real. What happened with Casey is true. Everything I said about Casey is 100% true, and my aunt is saying the opposite of that. So wouldn't that be slander?
No,
wouldn't that be slander? Yes, it would be. Saying things that aren't true and aren't real, isn't that slander? What my aunt is saying, go to court for, like, it genuinely.
Oh my God. Hold on.
My aunt has decided to dance with the devil. She's also supposed to be a Christian woman, a loving woman, don't judge thy neighbor woman, but she's none of those things. She is dancing with the devil. She is literally in a community full of people who are fat phobic, who dox, who harass,
or damaging
who bully.
Someone's reputation. People aren't saying that on the purpose of damaging your reputation. There's no motive to damage your reputation. The motive is that you're evil and you keep being evil, and you have recorded publicly available content that constantly contradicts and outlines your intentions of malice.
who have
me to line
literally
up for
told
you,
me
like
to
a
kill
baby.
myself. I can't
'Cause
even tell you
you're
how many times.
stupid.
Who have laughed at my body, who have made fun of me, who have joked about me dying. That's the community that she is placing herself in. That's dancing with the devil, honey. And I'm personally not going to be a part of it. I never have, and I never ever will be. And like, I always come on and I'm in such a positive, happy headspace, and then some bullshit happens because it's drama that this community gives me, and it's drama that my aunt is giving me, and then I react to that as someone who does have BPD, so I act kind of extra sometimes, like, and then I'm the one who's to blame. It doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. Like, it never will be. It never will be something that makes sense at all, ever, in a million years. I see the hearts, you guys. Thank you so much. Like, it means the world to me. You have no idea. The support. And it's just like, I feel bad for the people who genuinely are here to like just support me. And it kind of low-key sucks because I feel like I'm punishing them, but it's like, I can't just make content for them because I want space genuinely away from the people who would rather see me, like, no tea, no shade. This is gruesome, but
Hold on. I need to see something. I'm being shady again. "17 genuinelys in 20 minutes.
you'd rather see me in a coffin. There are people who message
So
me
what,
that
a minute
constant.
almost?
Like, you guys, like, there's as much love as I get in my DMs, I get some crazy stuff.
You know what I'm gonna say about that, actually? Because you talked about how much you liked Ethan Klein before that. You were supporting somebody. I don't know if you still do. You probably will because you're spineless, but like, who was, let's ignore, like, I can ignore my self-service, like my self-serving nature in this, right? Even then, you're supporting someone who was openly fatphobic and misogynistic to me, okay? Fatphobia, which you're so against, right? So that's one thing, okay? Let's move me out of the equation even. You're supporting somebody who has doxed and harassed and slandered, provably, Ryan Kavanaugh, for example, people constantly for at least, depending on what line you want to draw and how you want to count, 2 years. You talked about how much you loved watching them, how much you loved interacting with them, and all this stuff. But your moral high ground stands at what? Right. Yeah.
In my DMs as well. And people support that.
Because I've gotten DMs. I actually had closed my DMs, and then they DM'd other people about how they wanted me to be creepered in Minecraft, let's say. I don't know. It's just really like
the fatphobia, the horrific things that are said to me, because it's a community of people who are not happy with themselves. It's a community of people who are not happy in their lives. Nobody, and I mean nobody in this world who is happy with themselves, truly 100% or even 80%, or happy in their relationships or happy in their lives or their work, would ever sit around and treat someone as badly as I am treated. Period. Nobody. And I'm talking about every reaction channel out there as well. They are miserable people. There are people who act like they're perfect, but the thing is, their shit just haven't seen the light of day. You just haven't gotten to see their bullshit. And some of it has been shown, but people act like it does not matter. And that's terrifying, because
I don't know, after this I'm gonna like sit on my balcony, watch the sunset, and then I'm probably gonna like go to Korean barbecue, and I'm gonna walk, because I didn't eat myself to being housebound from how miserable I am in how I abuse all my partners and people around me, have no long-standing relationships. One of these things is not like the other.
The reaction channel community is literally made to destroy Amberlynn. And as long as people are doing that, that is all that matters. And I simply just don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to be a part of it. And that means I have to remove myself, because the haters aren't going to remove themselves. The reaction channels won't remove themselves. I have to do that. And it's the best thing I can do for myself, for my mom, for my fur babies. Like, I genuinely feel like, you know, deep down at my core, I'm this bubbly, happy, positive person. But anytime YouTube is involved, that side of me just disappears. And I know people who love me can tell. Oh, Romeo's laying on my leg. And it's sad, because I was watching Yo Mama, right? And I've never watched, like, I don't agree with Shani, anything about Shani. But Yo Mama was reacting to something that Shani said. And Shani said something about me. Shani said that the haters on YouTube made me not even half as the person that I once was.
Again, I'm gonna platform someone who literally neglected and abused their children to where I won't recall the point that they were taken away from them. But I'm still going to bring up something that I think about them that is good because they were nice to me. But I'm defending children with the whole Tammie thing.
And when she said that, I literally had to pause the video and I was like, fuck, that's genuinely true. Like, the way that I'm treated has genuinely destroyed me. And I'm not the person I once was. I'm not. Like, I'm not who I'm meant to be. Because of all the hate, one person can only genuinely take so much. Because then what? Like, genuinely, then what? And it's a lot and it's hard. And I know I don't deserve even 90% of this. I know I don't. And yeah, it's just a lot. It's genuinely just a lot. So yeah, I don't really know what else to say though. I think that's it. But I'm gonna be gone for a while. So, and I think during that time, I'm going to focus very hard on the right things instead of the wrong things. Because that's important to me. Hi, Romeo. Little Roro. Yeah. He's so sweet. And he's so soft. He's in a playful mood, so he's playing with my hand. That's why I have scratches on my hand, by the way. See? That was from like 2 days ago. Or actually yesterday or something. He's currently playing with my hand. So I hope that you guys have a good month. September is a Bruin. September 21st is a hard day for me because that's my dad's birthday. And he's going through a lot right now. So yeah, there's nothing really that great in September. I'm just really going to focus on me.
Okay, I don't care. I'm also going to be evil for a second.
Stop fucking crying, bitch! Where? I don't wanna fucking hear it!
We get it.
Yeah. All right. Holy Christ alive, this is so much longer than I thought it was. Thank you all for watching. That's the whole video. I don't even remember what I talked about. I've fried my own brain. Thank you for staying this long for another feature film from Mika's Rhetoric, completely by accident, once again. So, links to us, way support channel, all that kind of stuff, all down below, including YouTube, Patreon, members. I said that, whatever, don't care. Email, suggest content, divas. Love you dearly, Girl World Universe, and people who just like me and watch whatever I make, and anybody else who randomly stumbled upon this. This is way messier than I normally am, way messier of a video than I normally put out, but I just want to talk about this because I got asked about it a lot, and I'm currently crafting a video on Sydney Sweeney, but it's going to take me a while, so I wanted to be able to provide some content for y'all in the interim. So, thank you so much for watching. I love you all dearly, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye.
This is my impression of Lois Griffin singing her favorite and most relatable Kevin Gates song.
Keep the money flipping, it's all I know. Been in and out of prison for a while, I know. Grew up in the ghetto, thugging in the game. They did their best to break us, but forever we remain untamed, 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 untamed.